Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is uh, 12 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, October 8th. So looking back at yesterday's session, right, we have the long-term call wall on the Qs is still at 600, right? But we had the daily and the weekly call wall at 610. Overnight session kind of got up near it at 609.94. Uh, kind of goofed around up there, and then the opening bell come, and uh, this was I was looking for extremes yesterday, right? Either to push over that and short squeeze up a little bit more, or failure to go higher and just a small rotation down. So and to and below yesterday's lows. So that is indeed what happened. We had a failure to go push up through there, which is not surprising, right? There's no catalyst on the board, right? And that is resistance until proven otherwise, or until it changes because people change their positioning, right? But that's the positioning for now. And then as we come back down, we just come down into these large gammas between 603 and 605, just kind of consolidated in that $2 range, which would be 80 points basically in the NQ for the rest of the day. And if you look at the cash market, right, it was even just more of a, let's just go to the next biggest level that we can find, and we'll pause down there. So on the cash market, the SPX, right, this isn't the futures, this is the cash market at S&P 500, um, from 6750. And we talked about that being the resistance yesterday, and then you needed to break over it and hold over it and squeeze up, or you'd get some type of retracement. And you could just see this is just nothing but positioning because right down to 6,700, uh, basically to the nut is what you got, and then it didn't get through there, right? Lots of support at 6,700, so of course that's your bogey line going forward, right? So and usually when it's like this, I give it about 8 9 points, maybe 10 to 11, but if that's all the farther you go down and you cross back over it, you should be good to, retrace back up at least to the midpoint, which would be 67.25 or whatever. Holding below there, right, then just start looking at 25-point increments. 66.75, 66.50, 66.25, 6600. You get the point. But just really a lot to do about nothing yesterday. Just consolidating down a little bit under those positioning highs, and really not a lot to see after we had that liquidation break down to the next level. Um, we're still holding up above, and I mentioned this, that 6750 basically is really all the bulls need to do to hold this up. And as you see that the farther the time goes by over here, and we're not getting any higher, right? You're getting weight, you're getting overhead supply. So we'll see if it leads to a deeper retracement back down. The overnight session so far, the low, yesterday's point of control is 67.57 half, and then the overnight low is 58 quarters. So 3 ticks above that point of control. So that point of control is, use it as a bogey line for the initial balance, right? Once the initial balance is done, see if you're, you know, opening and closing bars below there or above there. And of course you can just waffle back and forth across it, but uh, usually what I like to do is just see if you're holding one way or the other. The next point of control below is at 67.03 on the futures, so you're looking at about 64 points below where we're at right now. Looking, same thing. I'm not going to beat this up. Uh, Looking at structure from yesterday, right? We got all these this poor structure. So normally what should happen after a liquidation break is you can't repair all this during this session, right? That should not happen. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but you've got a few traders trapped above these structure boxes, right? These signal prints. So you should not be able to make them whole yet. And if you look at the toss expected uh, high of the day for the NQ is right on the top of this top set of signal prints, meaning that think about this as an auction basically below this 25,208 and really you can sub break it down into the midpoint of this box, which would be right around value area low as I draw it, value area high on the low side, I'm sorry, which would be 25,130, and then we'll see what we get. But you can pinch that down to see what the high and the low. The low move still does not even clear these single prints below. So um, all things being equal, look for just potentially just to have an inside day today. Um, and when I say inside, I mean inside of this structure. So maybe getting down, printing down towards these boxes that are poor structure that needs repaired from before, where bears are trapped below. So basically 24,920, and you can click on the boxes to get the true the full numbers, and then right around 24,875 down to 840 is what you're looking at. And then if you look at the ES similarly, right, it's saying that you could get down uh, 267.25 and up just under yesterday's bell high would be the top of the range. And then you can see that there's some structure that could hold also at 67.16. So this is where I look to, if the VIX isn't skyrocketing higher and you get down to these levels, that's probably like the bottom end of the range for the day. You can see that the Dow's a little bit stronger right now. And then as we look at, just full positioning, we got a lot of gamma around 605. So basically we hit 603 yesterday. The overnight session has between 604 and 606 basically. So basically a dollar plus or minus this large gamma at 605. Uh, and then you can see right around 600 would be, that's supposed to be long-term resistance, right? We've cleared over that for now, so we'll see if it ends up being support. That's also the put wall for the day and the week, so there should be a lot of support right around 600. If we do go down there, that would be around 200 NQ points down lower than where we are right now, so that'd be around 24,870 is what you'd be looking at right around there. And then I'll post that up when I throw out this grid earlier. And then always think that you could get all the way to a dollar to $2.50 lower than that. White Rich would be 40 to 100 points on the NQ lower to just clear out stops, and then you have to see if we do start building time and value below 600. Right? Does 600 turn into the resistance that it was supposed to be in the first place, or do we clear right back over it again? And then we are right at the call wall for the SPY, right? This is supposed to be where the resistance was. We had cleared that before and got over it too. There is positioning up, but not as much as there are there. So today could be a little bit flaky, right? So we had a little bit of a shift down yesterday. Nothing to write home about. Just it is what it was. We opened here at the top end of the range, and there was just no buyers up there to push it higher, and no one speculating on higher. And there's a lot of hedges being placed below at this point in time if you look at the positioning. So I'm gonna again let the first 25 minutes kind of shake out. But status quo day is just from up to 673 on the SPY and down to 660 5, just a little bit over there, would be status quo, and we're right, smack dab in the middle of that right now. We'll see what Jack's looking at next. You guys have a great day and trade safe.